We're joined now by Ranjana Adhikari from IndusLaw. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for having me.
Pleasure. While some Indian states are looking to restrict or prohibit gambling, there's increasing optimism about legislation. What do you feel is more likely?
Well, I do believe, look, you have to understand the dynamics in the country to answer this question. You don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. And what I mean by that, there's the skill gaming industry, and then there's the rest of the kind of gaming products you may have, which may have chance-based products, etc. I think legislation might be more realistic in the short term for a skill gaming industry. You could be bullish or bearish about it for the gambling industry, but we do have some form of legislation in certain states for them. Having said that, my crystal ball gazing would be more, my bets are really placed on the skill gaming industry, so legislation should be in the offing there.
Okay, well that's good. And what, in your view, will the market look like? Do you foresee a state-by-state regulatory model?
Well, I would really hope that's not the case. I think in an iGaming market, if you do a state-by-state approach in a country like India, you will kill the potential that that industry would have to offer. Now, this might be very different in terms of the approach that maybe the US might have in this regard. But just kind of having studied that market very closely, I think the true potential lies when you have a central law for either parts of the industry. I think today, the skill gaming industry has already given them a business case to show how the industry could do well if there's something more central or federal in nature. And I guess that kind of answers your question, right?
Yeah. So how can businesses prepare for a future Indian market?
You know, if you are looking at entering the market or having India in your business plans, depending on the gaming product that you're looking at, the timing might be ripe in terms of, just having customer acquisition. Depending on your risk appetite, you could choose how would you like to come into India. I do, see a lot of foreign operators today wanting to take a slightly different approach in terms of maybe coming into the market, where they're looking at even local partners in terms of how they come into the market. So in terms of, I tell any of my clients when they're looking at the Indian market, what is it as a company you have as a risk appetite in terms of preparing yourselves? And I think that's the starting point in terms of figuring out what's the next step forward. So you could have local partners, you could have, a more different approach in terms of advertising for products. You may go in for a free-to-play model instead of a real money gaming model. But I think at the end of the day, the game plan is the same. Be there, have a first mover advantage, and really have customer acquisition before maybe legislation comes in.